Hey, what's up people? I'm Ryan Hernandez. This video is a classic album review. Continuing my review from the punk rock genre, you can check the last one out right here, which was a great album to start the series with. This particular review was on the New York City based group The Ramones, who were tired of the mid-70s mainstream sound that was coming from rock and roll. At the same time, across the pond in jolly old England, there was a particular band who weren't so jolly and had the same views, somewhat the same views as the Ramones. The Sex Pistols' one and only studio album, NeverMind The Bollocks, here are the Sex Pistols. Like the Ramones' self-titled freshman effort, publications with the greatest album of all time list, ranging out of 100 or less, have this album on their top 10 section, rating higher than the Ramones, which I can understand. This album does have a little more substance to it. It also has the man, or in this, the man being the government, or anybody that's running the country. Holiday in the Sun is the first track of the album. Instead of going to this sunny cooker-cutty vacation that most people go to in some island, they'd rather go to a more inexpensive place like Germany. At that time had the Berlin Wall up, probably get a little more culture. Now the song's not meant to mock at all. The lyrics do have words of going over the wall, which can be broken down as an urge to rebel. That's how I interpreted the song with the case of paranoia, and she speaks about going over the wall. I guess to me it sounds like he just wants to bring down the man, and especially that other side in East Berlin that was so controlled. Body touches on the sensitive subject of abortion. This song is not for the faint-hearted. It's worse towards the end when the point of view changes to the baby. Personally, I have no problems with the song. It is a little gory, but it doesn't bother me. It definitely is not one of my favorite songs, but I think they did a great job of giving you that feeling of uncomfortableness. No feeling is just about carrying yourself, boosting up the self-esteem, especially on those rainy days. After Cementing and Liar, we get into the album hit single, the song that created so much media attention for them in England at that time, God Save the Queen. I mean, the first line calls the British monarchy fascist. The song is a full-on attack, but you can hear some worries. I know you might not be able to pick up on it if you're listening for the first time, but it does sound like a person who's worried. So I do see it coming from a good place, even though it's more of an offense and it might sound like some form of disrespect. This is what I expect from a punk album, going against some type of form of establishment. It may have been taken way out of proportion at the time, but it ended up working out for the band. Problem, in my eyes, is a surprisingly uplifting song, because the song has lyrics fixing problems that you probably created. 17 to me is about not giving.
I don't give a fuck.
I did read that it was a diss to a certain trend, hippie rock, which is a good explanation, but I know for 100% that this song is a great lead into the next song, Anarchy in the UK. It continues this offensive attack towards the establishment. Anarchy has a more aggressive tone than God Save the Queen. They are making trouble to a place that's already fallen apart, and they're just adding to the mayhem. Submission is a love song. I'm not particularly sure of what. It could be a woman, it could be a material item. Don't worry, this gushy moment doesn't last forever, because if you missed him causing some more mayhem, after Pretty Vacant, the bad man from the UK have a diss record. New York is directed to the New York Dolls, which they call sellouts and irrelevant, which is a hard diss, especially to a rock group. And they definitely end this album with more frustration and EMI, which is their old record label, and they just kind of let all their anger out in this one track. Now the last two albums of the song is kind of what I expected from the punk rock genre. This kind of aggressive tone. Like I mentioned before, it does have a little more substance. Actually, I think it has a lot more substance than the Ramones. Personally, I don't know if I would listen to it again. It was not an easy listen for me, personally. The Ramones were a lot easier of how simple they constructed that album. Again, and against the Sex Pistols, of course. They made a good body of work. I just kind of lean more to the Ramones. But I do definitely recommend anybody to listen to it if you're a fan of the punk rock genre. Cobain's even them shouting them out, so if he listened to it, come on guys, you gotta at least give it a listen to. Let me know if you agree that this album is so much superior than my previous album review on the Ramones. So again, I appreciate you guys watching this album review. If anything, leave a comment down below, hit that like button. Let me know what's on your minds, people. Really want to know. I'm Ryan Hernandez. One love.